Chris Godinez, licensed professional counselor, also the host of We Need to Talk on every Sunday at noon here on YouTube, and then I post it up to Facebook. This video is for educational and informational purposes only. If you feel you need a therapist, please go to Google, type in therapy, your city, Psychology Today will pop up, click on that, and it will have qualified therapists in your area. Also, the views and opinions stated herein are mine and mine alone. They do not represent the ACA, the APA, or any other therapist for that matter. Boom, shakalaka, done. Well, happy holidays to everybody. I love this time of year. This is like my favorite time of year. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. So, of course, we're not going to get any snow here in Arizona. Well, southern Arizona. So, but good enough. It's okay. I love Christmas. I love the lights. It makes me very happy. All right, let me get a couple of notes out of the way. Too much stuff on my desk. Good Lord. Okay, so if you are outside of Arizona, your girl is Susanna Quintana at SusannaQuintana.com. So I do still get people saying, please, please, please be my therapist, but I live in, the East Coast or some other country or whatever. No, I can't, guys. I've got to stick to Arizona. So, but Susanna Quintana at SusannaQuintana.com. She has been there. She has done that. She's got the experience. She's written a book. Where is it? Oh my God, there it is. You're Still That Girl. It's fabulous. Good book. She's a good person. I love her to death. She's your girl. So contact her because she can definitely help you out with that. What else did I want to tell you? Oh, my store is open on chrisgodinez.com. So I am selling my coffee mugs. Oh my God, that's very full. So coffee mugs are for sale there. And also my books are for sale there. I will autograph them for you. Right now, though, I got to tell you the What's Wrong with Your Dad book is on back order. So that won't be in until January 5th or so. So there is that. All right. And also, people have been asking about book lists. If you go to Facebook, and if you're on Facebook, if you're not, just let me know somewhere and I can put up, the list of books, because I have like 20 of them that I recommend. So I have the list of the books up on Facebook. It's pinned to the top. It's on, We Need to Talk with Chris Godinez. So just go there and you can find the book list. And then what's cool is that other people have put their books in that they've been reading that they are finding very, very helpful. So yeah, so that's cool. So you can look through the comments and see if there are other books that maybe speak to you. One of the questions I had was on narcissistic siblings. I had a really hard time finding a book specifically about narcissistic siblings. I saw ones on, entire family systems and things like that, but I did not see one that was specific to siblings. So I'll keep doing some research and see if I can find one. But yeah, somebody had asked about that and I was like, oh, good question, because I don't know of one offhand. If any of you guys know of one that's specific to narcissistic or personality disordered siblings, let me know so I can pass that information on. Okay, anything else? I'm trying to think. Wednesday, Dwayne and I are going to be doing a show on his show, which is Dad's Surviving Divorce. That's on YouTube. That'll be on at 7 o'clock. Both of our times? No, wait a minute. He's an hour behind me. So if he's an hour behind me, it must be, so it'd be 6 o'clock his time. Double check on his channel. I'm going to have to call him and find out. Anyway, it's in the morning. It's on Wednesday. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about denial and why it's really important to follow through with working on yourself and doing the work and confronting the fears and things like that. So we're going to be talking about denial. So that's going to be the topic on Dwayne's show on Wednesday. Double check what time it is. I'll double check what time it is. I'll put it up on Facebook. There it is. Okay, let's see. So did that. This is throw my book around. This is my book. You can lead a horse to water, but can't make them cha-cha. That's available on chrisgodinez.com. Splitting if you are getting a divorce. Oh my God. I cannot believe how many people are divorcing right now because quarantine, being stuck with the abuser, et cetera, et cetera. And that's kind of what today's topic is about. So we're going to be talking more about that. And again, if you're needing to work, a really great book. This is called The Highly Sensitive Person's Guide to Dealing with Toxic People. It's by Shahida Arabi. Amazing. I love it. She's got journal entries, journal suggestions. She's great. She's just, as soon as it's safe to travel again, I want to go to New York and I want to just freaking hug this girl because she's amazing. So there is that. All right. Okay. So today's topic. So are you safe? Right? So that's kind of a generic kind of, are you safe kind of thing. Well, If you are in an abusive relationship, the answer to that is a resounding hell no, you're not safe. So the three topics, the three subtopics that I want to talk about inside of that is, okay, are malignant narcissists dangerous? Yes, but I want to go into why. How are they able to cross boundaries so easily? Well, I want to go into that as well. Also, do they know right from wrong? So the reason I'm covering this is because I get a lot of questions about, especially from people that have not, that are just now kind of sticking their toes into the waters of figuring out what the heck's going on with their relationship. So a lot of people, when we first realize, oh my gosh, this relationship is not safe, it's not normal, what the heck, then we slip into denial, which is more what we're going to talk about on Dwayne's show. And then we start questioning. It's like, well, but, but I thought I knew this person, but I thought this person was my soulmate, but I thought. And it's really, this is going to be review for a lot of you. This is going to be brand new information for some of you, but I want to make sure to put this out because especially this time of year. So we're dealing with the whole Hoover thing, right? So we're getting the pandemic Hoover, especially now that the pandemic is really, doing its second, third wave, whatever. And we're in the holidays. And when do narcissists really, really love to Hoover? Well, any time of the year, but specifically the Hoover holidays. That's what I call them, from October all the way through to Valentine's Day. That's when they really do the, oh, it's been so long and I miss you. And I just wanted to reach out and say, hi, how are you doing? Bullshit, all of that stuff in an effort to get their hooks into you and suck you back into their insanity. So are narcissists dangerous? Yes. They are. When are they the most dangerous? When they are malignant. So everything is on a spectrum. Okay, down here you have traits of. Down here you have malignancy. So over here, big man on campus, kind of full of themselves, little haughty, little arrogant, that type of thing. Dwayne is on at 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Good God, that's early. And I'm going to be at 7 o'clock. I mean, because my time it'll be 7, so he'll be 6, I'll be at 7. So tune in at 6 if you're on the Pacific Coast. Tune in at 7 if you're in Arizona, right? Good God. I hate time change. I've never been good with it, ever. Anyway, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time is when Dwayne's show is on Wednesday. Thank you. Train of thought just completely got derailed. Where the hell was I? Oh, okay. So, spectrum. So down here, haughty, arrogant, full of themselves, that kind of thing. Down here, more than 5 traits of narcissists, entitled, lying about achievements, sadistic, psychopathic. So it's the dark triad. It's the psychopath, okay, coupled with the narcissism, coupled with the Machiavellianism, which is control freak. So down here, they're just a hot mess. So they get more and more dangerous as they slide down the spectrum. And the same thing goes with malignant borderline. So down here, it's like they tend to harm themselves, sadly. And so there's space. There is space to work with that person when they're down at traits up, even in NPD, unless they have no empathy. If they have no empathy, stick a fork in them, they're done. But if they have some empathy and there's space, you can kind of work with them, okay? But if there's no empathy and they keep sliding down the spectrum, stick a fork in them, they're done. They're done. You can't. No, they don't change. They do not change. They do not have the epiphany of, oh my God, I've been an asshole or an assholette and I need to stop doing what I'm doing. No, they don't do that. They enjoy what they are doing. They enjoy the turmoil. They enjoy the chaos. They enjoy the drama. They enjoy inflicting. They enjoy harming. They enjoy the sadistic part of it because it's that psychotic part that is now taken over. So traits of versus malignant. So narcissists and malignant borderlines do not get better on their own. They do not. In fact, they get worse as they get older because their supply is drying up, okay? And when it is dangerous for us is when we see them for what they really are. Because that's when the narcissist will go on the smear campaign. That is when they will go on the attack. Meaning if you're getting ready to leave one of these people, and this is why I'm talking about this, because it's been a pressure cooker for people that are in relationships that are unhealthy and abusive, because we've been stuck at home because of the pandemic, and it's coming to a head basically, and it's been coming to a head for the last 9-10 months. So getting ready to leave is generally the most dangerous time period, but you must absolutely, yes, go no contact. I agree 100%. Get away from them. Get away from them. And this doesn't matter whether it's a romantic relationship or whether it's a familial relationship or whether it's a friendship. So they are dangerous when they get to full blown, and then they start sliding further and further into dark triad, because they start enjoying the power. They're all ego at that point. There is no there. A healthy, normal person has got a conscience, and they've got a what's the word? Empathy. It's like you know when you're harming somebody. These people know. They don't care. They don't care. They really don't. They enjoy it. They're sadistic. They enjoy it. So yes, they are dangerous. Yes, their motives of operation change. That wasn't the right word. Modus operandi. Modus operandi. Their modus operandi changes as the target starts catching on. So they may be overt in the beginning when they're coming out and their mask is slipping, but then if that's not working, they'll go covert. They'll play the victim, or then they'll pull out the Jesus robes and do communal. So yeah, they will change how they abuse based on what's going to get them their narcissistic supply. So don't be surprised if they switch it around, if they go from playing the victim to just being out and out verbally abusive, vicious, nasty, etc., or vice versa, or turning into a spiritual guru. I'm here to save you. I'm just doing this for your best interest. No, you're not. Hold on. So they will switch how they abuse based on what works for them. So as the target of abuse wakes up, as the target of abuse starts having an awakening and realizing this isn't normal, that this person is starting to catch on. And this is when they dangerous. So this is when they start going through your phones. This is when they insist that you stop therapy. This is when because no normal person would do that. So this is when they start interfering in your growth and development, wanting you to stop school, stop talking to your family, stop talking to your friends, isolating you, that kind of thing. And the abuse gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And nothing is ever enough for them. There is no bottom to their abuse. I mean, honestly, listen to me now, believe me later. They want us dead, ultimately, either by our own hand or by theirs. And there was a case recently, oh my God, I can't even remember where it was. It was Minnesota, I think it was, where the son stepped in and saved the mom from being stabbed to death, and the stepdad stabbed the kid to death because he was so enraged that the kid stopped him. So total dark triad right there. You can, that psychopath move if I ever saw one. So they are dangerous. They absolutely are. And it drives me crazy when people come for help, but they're so stuck in that fog, that fear, that obligation, that guilt, that illusion that this wonderful Prince Charming is somehow going to come back. And the reason why they're being horrible is somehow all their fault. It's so frustrating because it's like you just want to grab them and be like, no, wake up. Wake up. This person is going to harm you. It is only going to get worse. It is never going to get better. They're never going to figure it out, especially if there's no help. So narcissists get worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. The abuse gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And they will go from verbally abusive, if it's not suiting their needs, to physically abusive. So don't bank on, oh, well, so far they haven't hit me. Well, it's not that far of a step. It really isn't. And usually the way it starts is slow. So what narcissists do is they test boundaries, test boundaries, test boundaries, test boundaries, test boundaries. So if they're not physical now, they will be. And they'll usually start by having a rage and throwing something, missing you, but throwing something. And then having a rage, and it gets closer and closer to you. And then having a rage, and eventually they're hitting you with it. And then eventually it's physical. So yeah, they are dangerous. Listen to me now, believe me later. They are dangerous. They don't ever get better on their own. They don't ever get better even with help. they don't, because they are malignant. They are psychotic, Machiavellian, narcissist. That is the dark triad. So yes, they are absolutely dangerous. They are also the ones that will stalk. They are the ones who, that if they don't get their way, they will stalk you. And the intent is to shut you up. The intent is to make you fearful. The intent is to make you drop the divorce case, or make you not ask for custody, or make you fill in the blank, you know? So their intent is to intimidate. It's to intimidate, and it's to control. And those are the ones that are dangerous. The ones that start stalking, those are the ones you absolutely got to keep an eye on, because they're crazy. They're batshit crazy. Normal, healthy people do not stalk. Let me just say that again. Healthy, normal people don't stalk. They just don't. Crazy ass bitches do. So yeah, sorry, I just, what? Yeah. So anyway, the point being is that, yeah, they are absolutely dangerous. Don't underestimate them. And I think the biggest thing that people don't see coming is how vengeful they are. They are just little hateful beings. Hate-filled. Yeah. They're like a donut filled with hate. Seriously, they really are. They're just like filled with hate, and they want to hurt, and they want to harm, and they want to cause havoc, and they are dangerous. They absolutely are. And they will take it out on whoever they can, and they think they can take it out on you, which is why it is so important that once they reveal themselves for who and what they really are, you get the fuck away from them as soon and as far as you possibly can, and then you file orders of injunction, or you file a protection order. And then you call the police each and every goddamn time they violate it, because eventually they'll go to jail, which is good. And that's what they deserve. So anyway, vengeful. So it's hard for us as targets of abuse to wrap our heads around the fact, cray-cray. Yes, they are cray-cray. The fact that they are cray-cray, and that they are so vengeful, and they can be the 180 of who they presented to us. So who they presented to us was a mirror of us, you know, kind, loving, fun-loving, happy, joyful, etc. Oh, I'm just like you. You like pizza? I like pizza. It's just like Prince Hans and Anna in Frozen. Go watch it. So, you know, Prince Hans did the whole, oh, I'm just like you. Oh, I'm just like you. I'm just like you. And she's like, oh, I found my Prince Charming. And then, no, he turns out to be a rat bastard. So anyway, the point being is that it's so hard for us to wrap our heads around that the mirroring part and the monster part are the same person, and that the mirroring part was an illusion. The real part, the real them, is the monster. I know. It sucks. It sucks ass, because we fell in love with this lovely illusion, this kind, wonderful, outgoing, funny, happy, etc., etc., etc. But then in reality, they're a complete psychotic mess. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's hard for us to wrap our heads around that, but you've got to, because they're dangerous. They are absolutely dangerous. And they use the gaslighting, they use the lying, they use the manipulation to get in our heads and mess it up. It's like putting an egg beater there and going with all of their gaslighting and convince us that it's us. Okay, now let's talk about boundaries. I very much want to talk about that. Now we're getting into the boundary thing. So how is it that narcissists are so easily able to just vault over boundaries and abuse the boundaries and walk over them and not pay attention to them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? Narcissists have a sense of entitlement the size of North America. Probably twice the size of North America. So huge sense of entitlement. They do not view us targets, as people. We do not have wants and needs according to them. We are an object to be used, like this pen. We have no more meaning to them than that. I know. It sucks and it hurts to really get that. Because here's the thing. People who love us, people who are real, who love themselves, let's be clear on that. People who love themselves and love others recognize the boundaries and the wants and the needs of the other person, because we have empathy, because we're able to put ourselves in someone else's shoes. These people are not. They don't have empathy. They don't fucking care. They don't. If it's not about them, they don't care. It's so amazing to watch a narcissist click out, like if you're in a social situation, and thank God I haven't been in that since March, when we all could actually socialize. But watching a narcissist when the conversation is not about them, just, lights go off because they're bored, because it's not about them. Seriously, if it's not about them, they do not care. They don't care. They don't care about your wants or your needs or your feelings or your hurt or anything else. And if you try to explain to a narcissist how they've hurt you, they will flip it because of their ego, because they can't possibly be wrong. They can't possibly have ever done anything wrong in their entire lives. They will flip it back onto you, and now you're the one apologizing for them hurting you. And that's the gaslighting. And that's dangerous, because then we stop trusting our own instincts. When I am working with survivors of abuse, the multiple things that I'm getting them to get back into touch with is trusting their gut and their self-esteem and their boundaries. It's like, you're not wrong. You have a right to have boundaries. Deal breakers, absolutely. You have a right to trust your gut. If there's a pink elephant taking a shit in the corner of the living room, then there is a pink elephant taking a shit in the corner of the living room. You're not wrong. But a narcissist will walk in and go, there's no pink elephant. You don't see a pink. There's no pink elephant. Meanwhile, the living room is filling up with shit. You know what I'm saying? So they are dangerous because they fuck with our self-esteem. They fuck with our boundaries. They fuck with our sense of reality, because our reality has to be their reality. If our reality is not their reality, suddenly we're the crazy one. They go on the smear campaign. We've talked about this. They will try to destroy your career. They will get a hold of your HR or your boss or whatever, or your coworkers or whatever, and they will try to harm you, which is why it is so important that as you are leaving a narcissist, realize all of this shit's going to happen. All of these, really weird, funky things are going to happen. Don't let it make you afraid. This is part of their game. It's just bullshit, but it's part of their game. So what you have to do is you have to put as many eyes on them as possible. And once the flying monkeys have outed themselves, and you know who your friends are and who they are not, and who's a flying monkey and who is not, you cut off every single flying monkey. You let your HR know that you're going through a high conflict divorce. You let your neighbors know that you're going through a high conflict divorce. You ask for extra patrols. You get that order of protection or that injunction, and then you call every single time. You get as many eyes on it as fucking possible. And then we'll see who's the crazy one, motherfucker. Oh boy, these people piss me off. Anyway, yes, they are dangerous. They are absolutely dangerous. They harm us in so many different ways. They harm us on a spiritual level. They make us doubt who we are and what we love and where we're going. They stop people from going to school. They stop people from socializing. They stop people from having friends. They stop people from talking to healthy family members. They stop people from enjoying life. It has to be all about the narcissist. So they cross over boundaries because boundaries don't exist to them. Boundaries are something of a challenge to them. Let's see if I can cross over it. And I'll tell you what, as soon as somebody crosses over a deal breaker, be done. Be done, because they have shown you who they are. So yes, they are dangerous because they stalk. They are dangerous because they cross boundaries. They are dangerous because they have to win at all costs. And they will sacrifice children, family, friends, jobs, whatever, in order to be right. It is the craziest goddamn thing I have ever seen in my life. Like, in one case I dealt with, the person had multiple restraining orders put against them and violated each and every one of them, and didn't stop until they finally went to jail for it. And even then was denying that they did anything wrong. Yeah, you're not dealing with people who are sane. This person, whoever said cray cray, yeah, they are abso-fucking-lutely nuttier than a fruitcake. Seriously. I can't stand fruitcake. By the way, that's the only thing about this time of year I don't like. Fruitcake. Ugh. Anyway, the point being is, yes, they are dangerous. Yes, they will cross boundaries. They do not think twice about it. It pisses them off when people have boundaries. How dare you stop me? How dare you say no? I'm going to have a meltdown. Vengeful. That's where I was getting. They are vengeful, like nobody's business. They want to inflict pain. They want to punish you for telling them no. And that's what makes them dangerous, because a normal, healthy person, when somebody tells you no, you go, oh, sorry, okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Won't do that again. And we back off. With a narcissist, and especially a dark triad narcissist, one that is psychotic, you tell them no, and they become enraged and will melt down and have a 2-year-old temper tantrum, and I'm going to fix your wagon, and I'm going to show you who's boss, and I'm going to get my way. I'll figure out a way to do it. And then when they're caught, oh, I was just kidding. What? No, you weren't. What the fuck? They do that a lot too. They're just kidding. They say horrible things. They make terrible threats. They threaten to harm. They threaten to hurt. They threaten to do all sorts of things. And then, oh, I was just kidding. No, you weren't. No, they weren't. Things said in jest are often meant. I don't know if that is Shakespeare or not. I have a feeling it is. But anyway, the point being is things said in jest are very often meant, because they're passive aggressive and they will hide their true intentions in just kidding. That is the other thing. They will tell you point blank what they are going to do. They will tell you point blank what they are going to do. And we don't believe them. And that makes them dangerous, because we don't believe them. We're like, oh no, they could never do that. Oh no, they would never go on a smear campaign. Oh no, they would never really stalk me. Oh no, they would never really kill my pets. Oh no, they would never really slice my tires. Oh no, they would never really, but every single case I just gave you, they have said in one of their rages or one of their just kidding moments about killing pets, slicing tires, stalking, etc. And then later on, they did just exactly that. So when a narcissist says something and then follows it up with just kidding, you can bet your bippy that they're not, and that they are intent on doing on whatever it is they just said. It's just that they got caught. And so they hide it with just kidding. So there that is. All right. So that's the boundaries. So I wanted to talk about, are they dangerous? Yes. How they move over boundaries? Yes. Do they know right from wrong? Fuck yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And I love it when, and when I say love it, I mean the polar opposite. I love it when they sit there and like, well, I didn't know that slicing the tires was a bad thing. What? No. No. Not okay. Not okay. I didn't know that stalking was wrong. How do you not fucking know that stalking is bullshit? So here's the deal. Laws don't apply to them. Remember, that's the dark triad. So you're dealing with antisocial, right? So antisocial means the rules don't apply to them. Social norms don't apply to them. They truly believe the laws do not apply to them, that they're somehow special, and that the laws don't apply to them. So they do know right from wrong. They absolutely know what they're doing is wrong. So the example that I gave, and this was in a video ages ago, was, okay, let's look at truly, truly psychotic, truly delusional versus malice aforethought. Okay. So Jared Loughner was paranoid schizophrenic, right? He shot Gabby Giffords and he killed a 4-year-old. When they forced him to go on medications when he was in jail, he had lucidity enough to have regret for what he did. Okay. But when he was in it, he was delusional, literally delusional. And like had this whole conspiracy, paranoid schizophrenic conspiracy thing going on, and he was going to save the world from the government, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's delusional. There's delusions of grandeur. There's delusions of, I'm this anti-hero savior. I'm going to fix the world by doing this. And then when they get on the medicines, they realize, oh shit, what I did was wrong. But not in the moment. Okay, so that is the legal definition. You have to know in the moment whether or not what you're doing is right or wrong, right? So then you move on to like Jodi Arias or James Horner. Horner, I think it is. Horner did the Colorado shooting, and Arias is the one that killed Travis here in Mesa. Both of them had intense malice aforethought, intense planning. Also, the astronaut that drove across the country in the diapers, that shows malice aforethought. Plenty of time to think this through, This was not a crime of passion. This was not a spur of the moment thing. This was, I want to hurt, I want to harm, I know exactly what I'm doing, and I know it's wrong. So there were plenty of opportunities for both of them to stop. There were plenty of opportunities for both of them to in the area's case, call for help. There were plenty of opportunities to change the course, and they did not. It was a choice. So that is the difference. They knew right from wrong. Loeffner, not so much. Delusional. Narcissists know right from wrong. They don't care. And that's what makes them dangerous. So that's what I wanted to emphasize is, yes, absolutely. They know what they're doing. Every hurtful, rotten thing they have ever said, ever done, or ever will do, they know exactly what they are doing. And they have an overdeveloped sense of vengeance. They have an overdeveloped sense of need to be right. They have an overdeveloped sense of ego, I think is the best way to put it. Everything is to serve the ego. It is not to serve the greater good. It is never once a looking outward and going, how is this going to affect somebody else? How is this going to affect the world? How is this going to affect the family? How is this going to affect this person that I said that I loved? Because they don't love. They don't love. Everything they have said to you that was good was a lie. And that hurts. And that's why it's so hard for us to wrap our heads around the idea that this person that we thought we knew, we don't, and that they are dangerous, and that they will cross boundaries, and that we are nothing more than an object to them, and that they do know right from wrong. They absolutely knew what they were doing. Because the biggest thing that I hear, the biggest lie that I hear abusers say once they've been caught and the target of abuse starts getting help is, oh, I didn't know what I was doing. Oh, I didn't know. Oh, I was just kidding. Bullshit. They knew what they were doing. They absolutely did, and they are not kidding. So as soon as you hear those two words come out of anybody's mouth and they just said something harmful, hurtful, or horrific, they know what they're doing. And they're not kidding. Okay, let's hit the questions. All right, guys. Wanted to make sure to cover that. Okay. All right, Dwayne's show is on 6 a.m. Monday through Friday, Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. Okay, so 6 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday. All right, my mom told me that I have no empathy. Is that a sign that she understands the concept? For context, she told me that in a situation where she knew I would be hurt by her words. Well, oftentimes abusers project. So what I see abusers do, parental, romantic, friends, bosses, whoever the narcissist is, they will pick a scapegoat, they will pick a target, and then they will say the absolutely most hurtful thing they possibly can that is about them. So they project. So when a narcissist or a malignant borderline or anybody who's abusive is saying something about you that you know is not true, but they're trying to convince you it's true, they're talking about themselves. So it's called projection. It is a defense mechanism. I think I'm going to cover defense mechanisms in a Q&A just so I can kind of go over it. Also, when I do the Q&A, guys, I'm not giving you the titles of what I'm talking about, because if I put anything psychological in there, YouTube has a fit and is like, we're not going to fund it. And I'm like, it's the same thing whether I title it questions or whether I title it defense mechanisms. Doesn't make any sense. So what I'll do is in the opening of the Q&As, I'll let you know what the questions, the topic of the question is, so that you can decide whether or not you want to listen to the whole thing. So it's projection. It's projection. It's a defense mechanism. And that's what narcissists do. They project the very things that they are lacking or they are doing onto the scapegoat. So if you know that you are sensitive and don't believe it, if you know that that's not true, don't believe it. Just because it's your mother does not mean that they're not lying to you. So yeah, that's projection. That would be projection. Question: how does a teenager who has lost some of her family due to sad circumstances get away safely? Ooh, from a narcissistic father. I am not the teenager, but asking for a friend. The father is the only option she has, but she is not safe because he is a drunk. It depends on how old she is. And it depends on the state. See, this is the thing. When this stupid COVID thing is over, I swear to God, I'm going to get Brent Bryson on here so he can answer some of these law questions, because I'm just like, I don't know. So in Arizona, once a child hits about 14, 15, they can go to the judge and make a case for, I no longer want to go stay with this relative. It's very difficult to get emancipation because you have to prove that you can support yourself, meaning you'd have to get a job. And I don't think the laws here in Arizona allow for working more than like 3 hours a day, maybe, I don't know. But so you would have to look into the laws. You know, it depends on what state you're in, what country you're in. And is there a way for the teen to get a court advocate? So you want to look into court advocacy to see about getting away from the parent. If there are things that are going on that are reportable to DCS, do it. You know, like if the house is infested, if there's no food, if there's no clothing, if, you know, that type of thing, if there's abuse going on, that kind of thing. So what you would want to do is look into court advocacy, find out what the rules are in your state for emancipation, find out what the rules are for severing that and maybe getting a different guardian kind of thing. So it's a law question and I don't have the answer, but that would be where I would start. I would call a lawyer, call a family lawyer, ask these questions. And most family lawyers charge about $300 or $400 for a consult. I know, it's ridiculous, but anyway, that's what they do. There are some places like Fresh Start Women's Resource Center that have a law person there that you can ask question of. They cannot represent you in court, but you could at least go pay a nominal fee like $10 or $15 and get some questions answered. They also help with filling out paperwork, etc. So yeah, I would start with finding an attorney, a family law attorney, or you could research the laws in your state or country and see what you have to do to get severance from that. And if there's abuse going on, report it. Okay, what are the main differences between a traditional narc and a dark triad related? What's the delineation between psychopathy and narcissism? Okay, hold on. And I actually covered this in a Q&A not too long ago, but it's always good to recover it. Okay, so antisocial. Oh, you know what? I have to read, don't I? Ha ha. And I don't have my reading glasses. What do I do with my reading glasses? Holy shit, they're here somewhere. Hang on. Okay. So let's just quickly go over. Oh my God. Here we go. Oh, please tell me they're clean. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right, so let's go over narcissism first, just quickly to remind page 669. And as I always say, it should be 666, but oh well. All right, this book is falling apart. Holy crap. Okay, 669, because I use it so much. Okay, 669. Okay, 669. This is in the DSM-5. Hello, where did we go? There we go. All right, so narcissistic personality disorder, a pervasive pattern of grandiosity in fantasy or behavior, need for admiration, lack of empathy, beginning by early childhood and present in a variety of contexts, is indicated by 5 or more of the following. You only need 5 out of the 9. Has a grandiose sense of grandiosity, self-importance, exaggerating achievements and talents, and expects to be recognized as superior without commiserate achievements. In other words, they'll say that they graduated magna cum laude from someplace and they didn't even graduate, you know, anywhere. So yeah, they lie. 2, is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success, power, brilliance, beauty, or ideal love. So they want everything to be perfect. They want everything to be perfect. Not real. It's not realistic. 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood by or should associate with other special or high status peoples or institutions. 4, requires excessive admiration, constantly having to stroke their ego. Constantly. 5, has a sense of entitlement. For example, unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. So say, for example, there was and this happens a lot, there was a dinner reservation and they show up 45 minutes late and demand that their dinner reservation be honored, even though they're 45 minutes late to the dinner reservations. The rules don't apply to them. So a sense of entitlement. Okay. 6, is interpersonally exploitive, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her ends. So they're always using people, always. 7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. 8, is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. 9, shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. Okay, so that is narcissism. Now, if we're going to go to the dark triad, they have the extra added bonus of having also antisocial personality disorder. So, antisocial personality disorder. A, pervasive pattern of disregard for and violation of the rights of others occurring since age 15 and is indicated by 3 or more of the following. 1, failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behaviors as indicated by repeatedly performing acts that are grounds for arrest. So fraud, stealing, robbing, cheating, that kind of thing. Home invasions, 2, deceitfulness as indicated by repeated lying, use of aliases, or conning others for personal profit or for pleasure, because they enjoy pulling the wool over other people's eyes. It makes them feel powerful. 3, impulsivity or failure to plan ahead. Incredibly impulsive. It's like the old Buffy episode. I know I'm dating myself here, but there was a Buffy episode where Faith was taking Buffy down the wrong route and she was robbing this jewelry store, the store, and she's like, I want it. I'm going to take it. So she smashes the case and she grabs the stuff out of it. So that's what they do. They're very impulsive. They don't think about the possible repercussions of their behaviors. 4, irritability and aggressiveness as indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults. 5, reckless disregard for the safety of self or others. 6, consistent irresponsibility as indicated by repeated failure to sustain consistent work or to honor financial obligations. So they'll borrow money and default on it, borrow money and default on it, borrow money and default on it, or just flat out steal it. 7, lack of remorse as indicated by being indifferent to or rationalizing having hurt, mistreated, or stolen from another. They flip it around and it's the other person's fault. B, the individual is at least 18 years old. C, there is evidence of conduct disorder with onset before age 15. D, the occurrence of antisocial behavior is not exclusive during the course of schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. So that is the 2 of the prongs of, oh, wow, of the dark triad. The third one is Machiavellianism, which is control freak. So they're control freaks. They have to control. They have to control every single situation, what that person is thinking, what they're eating, who they're seeing, how much they sleep, how much they don't sleep. Everything is a control thing for them. And if that person does not ask how high, when they say jump, they fly into a rage. So I hope that kind of shows you. And remember, as the person slides down the spectrum, the more and more all of the personality disorders start overlapping, and you will see traits of other personality disorders coming into play. It's a real clusterfuck. All right, there is that. Hope that answered the question. Since the narc knows right from wrong, do they think something like wrong is okay? They justify it, like I just said. So that is justifying it. That is flipping it on the other person and going, well, you made me. You made me hit you. You made me take your friends away from you because they were bad for you. I'm doing this for your own good. Oh my God, I've heard that so many times from abusers. It's just total gross. Anyway, no, so they in their mind justify it. They will justify it. They will rationalize it. They will make it okay in their head that what they're doing is for our own benefit, or that they're justified in doing it, that somehow a right is now, a wrong is now a right. So, because they are, say it with me, cray cray. So yeah, there is that. So yeah, they don't necessarily say wrong is okay, but they justify it. They literally do logic loops to justify having hurt somebody, justify being vengeful, justify stalking, justify, stealing, justify smearing, justify. It's crazy. There's no there. I keep telling you guys that. Okay, I hope that answers the question. How do I stop feeling so guilty literally eats me up about distancing myself from my personality disordered mom. She's a nice person, but her depression is toxic. Okay. So I am actually going to be talking next week about kicking guilt and shame to the curb. We're coming up on a new year. You know, I think New Year's resolutions are really not a good idea because we always set ourselves up for failure, but here's something that you can work on. How about we work on kicking guilt and shame to the curb? Seriously, because that is the stock and trade of the abusers. They love to fill us with their shame, and then they love to make us feel guilty for taking care of ourselves. So really, any relationship that engenders fear, obligation, or guilt, that's the fog, okay? That's an indication that that is a toxic relationship. So if there is fear, obligation, or guilt happening, you need to absolve yourself. Dominatus requiem. You know, if somebody is toxic to you, you have the right to say, no, I don't want to be around this person. I'm either going to limit my contact or I'm going to go no contact for my own safety and comfort. And that's okay. And a lot of people get really confused with that because they're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I'm a narcissist because I'm taking care of myself. No, 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 no. Let's make this perfectly clear. Narcissists need outside approval 24/7. There is no there. So they need other people telling them how fabulous they are, even though they're not. When we take care of ourselves, really take care of ourselves, and I don't just mean getting a mani and a pedi. I mean like working the workbooks, the Self-Esteem Workbook by Glenn Schiraldi, The Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker, Codependent No More, Beyond Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie, the books by Pia Melody, Disease to Please by Harriet Breaker. Did I mention that? Yeah, I did. Radical Acceptance by Tara Brock. Radical Forgiveness by Colin Tipping. You know, when we really do the work, CPTSD, From Surviving to Thriving by Pete Walker. When we really do the work, that's self-care. And recognizing I can't be around this person. I can't. I can't. So it's okay. It's okay to recognize your own wants, your own needs, and to honor that. So when that guilt starts coming up, I would write that guilt a letter. Dear guilt, fuck the fuck out of fucking shut up, bitch. Seriously. And tell it off. You know, it's like you do not need to feel guilty. You don't. Fuck you, guilt. I'm not going to play your game anymore. I'm not going to feel guilty for taking care of myself. Then trot it out to the barbecue, read it out loud once, light a match, burn it, let it go. So next week, I'm definitely going to talk about let's kick shame and guilt to the curb. It's time. It's time. It's time to put it back where it belongs because y'all don't need that anymore. So yeah. So give yourself permission. And you can go low contact or you can go no contact. And it depends on what works for you. So either one is okay, as long as you're okay. Does that make sense? Okay. Is it a narcissistic or borderline trait or tactic to exploit their target's faults and weaknesses and then embellish the truth to their advantage? That would be narcissistic. Absolutely. So narcissists will, when they get together with somebody, they look for the weakness. They look for the weakness. Where's the Achilles heel? Where's the Achilles heel? Where can I just kind of wedge that wound a little bit more? And they'll find the weakness and then they'll exploit it and then they'll, use it to their advantage. That's a narcissist thing. They mine for information. So be very, very careful when you meet somebody and they want to know every little detail about you and they're not sharing anything about them. Or they do share, but they share with the expectation that you're going to, overshare. So yeah, that's what narcissists do. How do you stop bringing narcissistic people into your life? Looking back, I've attracted several into my life, men romantically, women as friends. So as you work on yourself, and I cannot push this enough, when your self-esteem is truly healthy, rock solid, healthy, you know who you are, you have your list of deal breakers for everything in life, what you will and will not put up with, they'll stop sniffing around. They will. And in the past, if I look back into my past, fuck yeah, I had a lot of weirdos in my life because I was not healthy. You bet. And then as I got healthier and healthier and stronger and realized who the hell I was and what the hell I wanted and what the fuck I wouldn't put up with, people like that stopped sniffing around. And that's what happens. It takes working on you. It's not just going to happen magically. It's not just going to be like, clouds part, sunshine comes down, ah, healed. No, you got to work on yourself, which is what I'm going to be talking about with Dwayne, because it's not a one and done. It's not one letter and I'm done. It's not one book and I'm done. It's a process of purging all of the crap that got shoved into your space that wasn't yours, that inner critic who's your parent, your ex-lover, your whatever, getting rid of that, replacing it with the positive, realizing your own worth. And then when somebody like that comes into your realm, if it feels real familiar in a not good way, thank you for playing. I'm just going to keep you over here. Thanks. And usually they don't even come sniffing around. So, I mean, they might do it once or twice, but then they're like, oh, she's not buying it. No, I'm not. Sorry. Don't need to. So you are going to work on yourself. And it's okay looking back because we didn't know. We attract what we know or what is familiar. Because remember, that inner child inside of us is the one that looks out and goes, oh, this person kind of sort of reminds me of mom. I know, let's be friends. No. Because it's an attempt to fix this original wound over here. And again, half of a shit sandwich, half of a shit sandwich, total shit sandwich. So you want to work on yourself. You want to work on your self-esteem, your boundaries, your deal breakers. Serious as a heart attack, guys. Write out your deal breakers. What will you not put up with? And when I tell people that, they always kind of give me this kind of like, I don't know. So a deal breaker would be anything, Walt Whitman, reject anything that offendeth thy soul. So no lying, no cheating, no stealing, no treating people horribly, no, toxic behavior, no gaslighting, no rewriting history, no triangulation of communication, no drama triangles. Drama triangles is where, and that's another reason why the narcissist never will admit to what they've done. They create drama triangles. So in their mind, they're always the hero of the play, always. Somebody else is the victim, usually the new supply, and you're the villain. And that's always going to be the way it is. This is why trying to get people to see how crazy they are or get the flying monkeys to see is never going to work, because they will then just go, see, you're crazy. See, look how crazy she is. Look how crazy he is. Look how, they need that drama triangle. The best way to get rid of the drama triangle is to step the fuck out. They'll need to find another villain. Let them go find another villain. So they're always the hero. Somebody else is always the victim, usually the new supply, and you're always the villain. So just step out. Let them find another scapegoat. Absolutely. Okay. All right, my loves. I am allergies like nobody's business today, so I'm going to cut it short. So next week, okay, first of all, we're going to have Christmas. So Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. I hope you guys are having a great time and really enjoying the season. Next week, I want to talk about kicking shame and guilt to the curb, because it's time. Let's let that shit go. It's brand new year coming up. Let's let her go. So, yep, let's get rid of that. Let's put it back onto the abuser. So we're going to talk more about getting rid of the shame, getting rid of the guilt. I think that is it. SusannaQuintana.com. If you need to talk to somebody who is an expert in getting out of these types of things, that would be awesome. Wednesday, Dwayne, Dad's Surviving Divorce. I will be talking about how deadly is denial. And that's it. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great week. Have a wonderful Christmas. I'm really looking forward to it. Baking. Anyway, so, and I will talk to you on Sunday as soon as I find my cursor. Where did it go? Okay, there it is. All right. Bye, guys. Merry Christmas. Bye.